voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The stake really is, there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
Can a single dinner really spark a media war so fierce it divides the internet? You'd think something as simple as sharing a meal wouldn't cause a meltdown, but when Bill Maher sat down with former President Donald Trump, it set off a firestorm that had Whoopi Goldberg fuming, Karoline Leavitt swinging, and viewers everywhere picking sides. This wasn't just a celebrity spat. It was a raw, unfiltered clash that peeled back the curtain on media hypocrisy, political tribalism, and the growing pushback against outrage culture.
Past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
So what exactly happened at that dinner? And why did turn the View's set into a battleground? Buckle up, because this story's got layers and we're diving deep. Let's start with the spark that lit the fuse. Bill Maher, the comedian who's made a career out of skewering both sides of the political spectrum, decided to have dinner with Donald Trump. No cameras, no press, just a private meal arranged by none other than Kid Rock, of all people. Sounds like an odd pairing, right? But for Maher, it was a chance to do what he's always preached: talk to people you don't agree with. The dinner wasn't about signing a peace treaty or endorsing a campaign. It was about breaking bread and maybe, just maybe, finding some common ground. But when word of this meeting leaked, it hit the set of The View like a lightning bolt. For Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts, this wasn't just a meal. It was a full-on betrayal of everything they've built their brand on, and they weren't about to let it slide.
As you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute.
Whoopi Goldberg's reaction was nothing short of explosive. On a recent episode of The View, she could barely contain her rage, refusing to even say Trump's name, referring to him as him or that. And like it was a curse, her fury wasn't just about the dinner. It was personal. She tore into Maher's character, accusing him of crossing a moral line by sitting down with someone they've spent years vilifying as public enemy number one. The panel backed her up, piling on with their signature blend of sanctimonious outrage and moral grandstanding. To them, Maher wasn't just having dinner, he was fraternizing with the enemy, and that was unforgivable. But here's the kicker. Their meltdown wasn't just about Trump. It was about control. The View thrives on a narrative that paints one side as heroes and the other as villains, and Maher's dinner threatened to blur that line. So why such a visceral reaction? Let's unpack it. Enter Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary under Trump, who saw The View's outburst as a golden opportunity to expose their hypocrisy. Leavitt didn't mince words, calling out the panel for preaching tolerance while practicing anything but. In a fiery statement, she accused them of undermining the very democracy they claim to defend. These women scream about unity. But lose their minds when someone dares to have a conversation with someone they don't like. Leavitt pointed out the double standard. If Maher had dined with Vice President Kamala Harris, they'd have thrown a party. But because it was Trump, it was betrayal. She didn't stop there, taking aim at their obsession with Trump's legal troubles, noting they've been quick to cheer for his potential downfall despite no convictions. Leavitt's takedown was a masterclass in flipping the script, and it had viewers on X buzzing with reactions. Some called her a hero for calling out the media elite. Others accused her of fanning the flames. Either way, she wasn't backing down. But Bill Maher wasn't about to let The View steal the spotlight. On a recent episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he came out swinging, his trademark sarcasm sharper than a razor. "This is still America," he declared, "where you can talk to someone without signing a loyalty oath." He mocked the panel's outrage, calling it a tantrum over a dinner that meant nothing more than a conversation. Maher didn't just defend himself. He went after the heart of their argument, dismantling their black and white worldview. "Disagreement isn't war," he said, "and I don't need Whoopi's permission to eat with whoever I want." His response was vintage Maher, bold, unapologetic, and dripping with wit. He even took a jab at their selective rage, pointing out how they'd cheer if he dined with their preferred politicians. The audience roared, and social media lit up with clips of his takedown going viral. But there was more to this than just a comedian landing punches. Leavitt kept the pressure on, diving deeper into The View's track record of contradictions. She argued that their brand of activism isn't about progress, it's about power. For years, the panel has spoon-fed their audience a steady diet of half-truths and spin, all wrapped up in feel-good rhetoric. They hailed Joe Biden as America's savior, even as his public appearances raised eyebrows about his cognitive health. They propped up Kamala Harris as a beacon of hope, despite her struggles to deliver a clear message without tripping over buzzwords. Leavitt called it what it was: propaganda dressed up in pearls and polished sets. She didn't just stop at The View. She took aim at the broader media landscape, accusing outlets of manufacturing narratives instead of reporting facts. "This isn't journalism," she said. "It's indoctrination." Her words struck a chord, especially with viewers fed up with being told what to think. And the fallout was only beginning. This clash isn't just a juicy piece of celebrity drama. It's a window into a much bigger fight. Posts on X show the audience split down the middle. Some fans are rallying behind Maher, praising his stand for free speech and his refusal to bow to cancel culture. "Bill's doing what nobody else dares," one user wrote, talking to everyone, not just the approved crowd. Others back Whoopi, arguing she's right to call out anyone cozying up to Trump. "Maher's playing both sides, and it's a cop-out," another post claimed. Speculation's running wild, too. Some say The View's outrage is a desperate bid to stay relevant as their ratings slip. Reports suggest their viewership has dipped 10% since 2023, with audiences growing tired of their predictable takes. Others whisper that Maher's shift toward centrism is a calculated move, betting on a growing wave of Americans who are done with partisan shouting matches. Either way, this fight's tapping into something raw, a nation fed up with media gatekeepers who'd rather shame than listen. So why does this matter? Because it's not just about Whoopi, Maher, or Leavitt. It's about the state of our discourse. The View's brand of performative outrage is losing its grip as more people demand real conversations over scripted rants. Maher's dinner with Trump wasn't about politics. It was about proving you can sit down with someone you don't like and still walk away without hating them. Leavitt's critique exposed the cracks in the media's moral facade, showing how quickly tolerance turns to venom when the narrative's challenged. And the public's reaction, split, loud, and passionate, shows we're at a tipping point. Are we headed toward a world where dialogue wins, or will the outrage machine keep grinding? That's the question this clash leaves us with. And this showdown laid bare a truth that's hard to ignore. Those who preach tolerance loudest often practice it least. Whoopi's fury over one dinner, Maher's razor-sharp comeback, and Leavitt's fearless truth bombs cut through the noise, exposing a media landscape where outrage is king, but truth is fighting back. As more Americans question the stories they're fed, moments like this could mark the start of something new, a push for honesty over hysteria. So, what do you think? Is The View's reign of rage coming to an end? Or are we stuck in this cycle? Division. Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you're all about unfiltered truth, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. We'll see you next time.